right,
Okay, let's
starting.
go.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's Monday, 9:30 on the East Coast, 6:30 on the West Coast. It's time for your weekly Calamity Jane live stream. James, how are you doing on this wonderful, hot summer evening?
Oh man, well, I'm lucky to be in Southern California. We're not getting too much heat, at least by the coast. But I guess when you go inland and
Yeah.
valley, it is getting really hot. So yeah, as you know, you used to live here, so you know what exactly what I'm
Oh, I
talking about.
know. Well, I mean, I also used to live in Seattle, and they are getting baked.
Yeah, I saw the little heat map things on the
Oof.
news, on the local news. It's crazy.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
I
I
feel
I have
bad for folks.
so many friends up there who are just dying right now because it's a place that for decades it just never really got hot enough to justify air conditioning.
Sure.
And so most places even today still don't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
And I my friends were like taking those like digital thermometers and pointing them at like
Hmm.
roads, and it was like topping out at 127 degrees, 100 and
What?
yeah, and I like on asphalt, right? So it's like really hot,
Yeah, sure. But
but
still, that's
still, yeah,
crazy.
it's like
Yeah.
cooking eggs on it. It's so hot, right?
And this is where you're talking about your friend. You're talking to your friends in Seattle, and that's what they were doing the
Yeah,
asphalt
yeah,
test.
yeah. They were doing the asphalt test, and it's
Wow.
like wow. And Georgia, for its part, is just hot. It's just a usual hot Georgia summer. It's just
Yeah.
once you hit about late June, it just sits at 90 degrees, 95 degrees, and then that's it every day until October.
Wow.
so, so it's a pretty normal Georgia summer so far. It's a little bit of a wet summer, but that's fine. I don't mind that.
Hmm.
But again, because it's always so hot down here, air conditioning is everywhere down here, so it's not nearly as a much of a burden.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I feel bad for my fellow humans that are
Oh,
dealing with that, but it's like I was watching. Heard a snippet on the news where people are actually like renting hotel rooms just to get
yeah,
AC,
yeah,
get away from the heat. I mean, I've never heard of that before.
yeah. My
So
improv
obviously, this something's up.
Yeah, my
Because this.
improv theater that I used to always go to, they just open their doors during the day just to let people come in and get out of the heat. I mean, it's just crazy.
Man.
No shows or anything. Just come in and don't die. But in any
Yeah.
case,
Yeah. So with that bleak "don't die" phrase, I guess we'll go. We'll go. We'll awkwardly transition into talking about a cartoon.
oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I think that's a perfect transition. I mean, Dry Gulp
Oh,
Gorge is in the middle of a desert.
that's
It
true.
is
Yeah.
warm. It does tend to get
Yeah.
warm in deserts, so
Yeah.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. So what are we? I was out last week. Obviously, I was on a whirlwind tour of the Midwest, visiting family, and it was a wonderful trip. But I'm ready to get back to it and figure out what we're working on this week, James.
Okay. So last week I went solo. And just did for last week. If anybody happened to tune in or not, whatever, I'll get them up to speed now. But I decided to work on Sally last week. So that stream is up there. It's all archived wherever you watch it. Watch me go from. I did sketches offline, then I put the sketches into Adobe Animate, and then just cleaned it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show you that version. So I'm not sure if you've had a chance to see it or not.
No, I
So
don't know. You sent me one or two pictures, and it was pretty exciting, but I didn't see the complete kind of finished product.
okay. So you can see that. Do you see my screen?
I can. I can.
Okay, great. So one thing is, pardon any technical issues, but I'm trying out a Huion Canvas 13 display tablet. So I'm drawing on that, and I like it a lot. But it's the first time I'm trying to use it in the stream. But all right, great. It's displaying. So far so good.
So far so good. Yeah, so far so good.
So yeah, here we are with Sally. No need to really get into too much detail here. I mean, but yeah, she sketched out, and yes, I do recall I sent you images of her through text. So for last week, I ended up doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a cleanup version of her. So this is our Sally for Dry Gulp
Wow,
Gorge.
I love it. I love it.
So
Really, it was different than the version that you showed me in earlier sketches.
yeah, way back in the day, huh? Let me see if I can dig those up. Let me see here. To kind of do some digging. Oh, Tony Jane designs characters. Sally. Let's look at some here. Some here. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
a new
old
one.
one. See if this one refreshes in time, but let's look at this one. There we go. Here's
Yeah,
some
see
old
that?
ones.
Yeah, that was the one that we were looking at, where she had her a little bit of
Yeah,
a pompadour. It looks like, or those are just bangs, maybe.
yeah, it's bangs. Yeah,
She has a little bit more of
yes,
a sly look on her face.
yeah, and it's just yeah. I want Sally's this cute little girl, but I wanted to change her a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I'm much happier with where she's at now, um, than what I was doing. That was like last year. This version of her, I think, and I think you and I both agree we like this version of her. It seems to
Oh,
capture
I like this
well,
significantly
right?
more. I mean, immediately when you sent me a text midweek with this, I immediately liked it more. I think this embodies the character a lot more than the other version. The other version was good. I mean, I've never badmouthed your art. I think you're a wonderful artist.
Well, thanks. It's great for the ego to yeah. I mean, but but it's
um,
okay. It's okay to not like something, and it's totally cool. We're working on this together. So
yeah.
um,
But the way she was a little too sly, like mischievous, right? And
yes,
as
yeah,
written, Sally is very much a genuine optimist. Um,
yeah.
just like if you're having a bad day, Sally could get you out of the bad day, kind of thing, right? She's genuine, authentic, optimistic.
Hmm.
I mean, I hesitate to say Pollyanna-ish because Pollyanna was just so blindly optimistic that it was a mental disorder. Um, but uh, but Sally is definitely on the positive side of the emotional spectrum, right?
Hmm.
And the original Ruffs, there was too much mischievousness behind her eyes, right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And then if you notice, I mean, even in the sketch, I kind of gave her a frilly top and stuff. But then
Mm-hmm.
by the time I was done, I actually went to like just a cute little
Like a denim.
t-shirt top and like,
Mm-hmm.
the sporty sideband type things to kind of
Mm-hmm.
give her more of I don't know, I felt like, because I think when we were talking about Dry Gulp Gorge, I was trying to think about the out in the Old West and making her kind of more of a Western
Mm-hmm.
frilly kind of a dress, whatever those appropriate name is for those
Prairie
are. I don't
dress
know.
is what I call them.
Yeah,
I don't know
prairie.
if they.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Prairie. Yeah. But I thought, you know what? Maybe we'll. I mean, I could still give her the frilly stuff and make her look kind of more, like this. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm happier. I am pretty happy with her design now. Um, that her dress, and I was actually even tempted to give her jeans instead of a dress.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I mean, we could talk about that as something
I,
else.
I actually I like the denim dress. I mean, that's the way it reads to me. It's like
Okay,
a
great.
denim dress, and I think it looks really cute on her, and I
Excuse
think
me.
it works
Yeah,
really well for her. And in fact, I like it more than sort of the poofy prairie dress.
yeah.
I think it gives her a cleaner lines. It
Hmm.
makes her. I don't know. I like the verticality of her a little bit more rather than the
Hmm.
hourglass shape of the original sketches.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Uh, One other thing I was gonna do. Let me go into her
and
symbol here.
I love how oversized her pigtails are. I think it
Yeah,
does such a great job of emphasizing her cuteness.
it's funny. Like when I was designing her last week, her pigtails were like a little smaller, but the very last detail I did before I signed off on the stream was actually I went crazy with them, and I'm happy with the
Mm-hmm.
crazy pigtails instead. But there's one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and that is all right. So let me So here are her pigtails here on these layers. If I take these off, and because I kind of designed her so we could, if we wanted to, um, go with like, hang on a sec here. Let me get the right tools. Where are my tools at? Oh my gosh, you disappeared on me. There you are. Okay, hang on a second here. So right now the zoom camera is in the way of that. So now I got that out of the way. So now I can go back to drawing again. Fun times. All right. Normal. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of uh, like something like that too. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, there's no rules that we can't do this. Um, but
I
Yeah, there's something
mean,
else to think about too.
like you'd have to go. You'd have to do a lot of work to convince me that long straight black hair is a better look for Sally than the pigtails. I'll be honest.
You like the
I mean, the
pigtails, huh?
pigtails just seem like a no-brainer to me.
Hmm.
Like this is like Sally is sort of the she's kind of the heart of Dry Gulp Gorge in a way, right? She, it's Aunt Betty's victuals that that she feeds the town with, right? She's the one who welcomes people into town. She's the one who convinces Calamity to stay, or at least gives her the opportunity to stay. I really want to emphasize the fact that she's just a cute, um, like sweet girl. I don't know, and I think the pigtails do a better job of that than long straight hair.
There is more of association with that,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah,
Now,
and maybe it's
here's
getting
what
a little bit too archetypal. I don't know, but I'm willing to chance it in my opinion, for me at least.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, uh, I hear everything that you're saying. For me, only because I was you know I was raised here in the U.S., but I also have my parents who are from that immigrated from India.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always around cousins and stuff like that were super cute and had super long hair, but that was from the Indian culture. So for me, I can actually go either way. I actually totally see the pigtails
Okay.
because I think that's a classic American version of the cuteness, but I also see it. I'm not sure. I can't speak on South American, but at least for Indian,
No, yeah,
this is a
it's
very tropey thing to do too. I'm just saying, completely, completely. If you want to go tropey, this is just as cute. Almost, almost. I'm not sure if it is as cute as in American style, like how we were raised with the pigtails, but I do see this as well all the time in Indian events.
you're
Just
not wrong. Yeah, I mean, my biases are definitely showing here.
see, and I have the same biases. That's why I went with the pigtails instead.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there's something to be said that we could. I mean, if there could be times where she could have like a blue shirt on, the same thing, and then she could have her hair down, and she's
Yeah, I mean
still
yeah, I
yeah
mean it's right. We're not this isn't being chiseled into granite, right?
yeah
And so there's no reason why Sally. I mean, we want to try to keep the silhouettes consistent to a point, but we can play with it. So
yeah
I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping that in our back pocket.
yeah
I think um, the rule that we need to keep in mind is just as long as Sally is sort of the embodiment of cute and heart and optimism and authenticity and genuineness, then we're fine, right?
mm-hmm.
I don't think we need to be locked into a particular singular hairstyle, as
Mm-hmm.
long as we are preserving the other rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean that's my 2 cents on it. I think by default the pigtails work better for me, but you know, again, that's a bias and definitely not some sort of an objective fact.
Uh, yeah, I'm with I again I designed the pigtails first. I went that way. I went that direction first. And I know I don't have the sketches here, but the sketch that I have obviously here from the old version, uh looking that up here again. I did go pigtails for that too, but it's just a little
Uh-huh.
different style.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do remember, I don't remember where the sketches are, but I did have her with long hair too at one point where it goes right to her back. But one key point that you mentioned that is very true is the silhouette is key, and so this silhouette is much stronger, having those pigtails poking straight out on
I
the
do
side.
agree. I do think it's a
Yeah,
stronger silhouette. Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, so yeah, so for all intents and purposes, Sally's pretty much done at least her front pose. I could do her 3/4 pose later tonight, but there's other stuff I want to jump into as well.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw that out there. But there's Sally. So while you're away, that was being worked on. Let me see if this works here. But here's a view of Dry Gulp Gorge.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
So here we go. Surprise! Here's something else for you to check out.
Wow. That
Pretty
looks
interesting, huh?
just unbelievable.
And I'm still working on this. So as you can see, like the wood panelings here. Some of these are generic colors, but I'll change those up.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's the look. That's where Calamity Jane's gonna pull into town to.
I'm telling you, I just love the windmill turbine, the wind turbine.
Yeah.
I just that it's so fun. It's just such a I don't know. In a weird way, it really is a reflection of not just Dry Gulp Gorge, but the Calamity Jane Adventure Hour as well. Sort of this mashup of all things, right?
Hmm.
Um, but that looks, I mean, that looks just phenomenal. It looks amazing.
Cool. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
digging it. So this is a more pared down version. Like I know we talked about Dry Gulp Gorge a couple weeks back, and I had the whole town kind of fleshed out. But for the
Right.
first episode, we really need this street really, and maybe a side street later, which I'll kind of put in later.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, but in general, yeah, this is kind of this is the main street, I would say.
Wow.
That was coming
Yeah, I
along.
mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe creating a bit of a variation in the ground terrain to highlight the fact that it is a street that's more heavily
You mean like a
traversed.
kind of like more worn out, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I hear
Uh,
you.
That's really the only thing I can really point out point at that I think is missing. But I mean, I think it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm happy with what direction it's going too. The things I want to do. So for me, for example, the sheriff's office. So the sheriff's office here, you know how it's kind of a little bit more kind of askew and kind of
Uh-huh.
square on sides. So
Mm-hmm.
these other buildings that I have here, I need to start doing that kind of a treatment to them. They're
Right. They're very
very straight.
boxy right now.
Yeah, there's nothing worn out about them. So
Right.
I need to do that. I need to do a pass on that. But I mean, I'm being very picky. I mean, as far as
I mean, I love the colors. It just immediately the colors pop for me.
oh, okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah. So I mean, I think it's really coming along. I mean, it's amazing how far it's come since your first explorations with boxes.
Yeah, way back in the day,
Way back,
day
yeah.
boxes.
And if you're a first time viewer, you can go back and check the archives of our streams when James was first exploring Blender and going, I think this is how you make a cube. And now look at what you've accomplished, my friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a matter of just pulling my hair out a lot. I mean, a lot of this is just the Blender community is really helpful for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. Like, so I go there and talk to them quite a bit. There's a couple of names. I'll have to name drop eventually, but I don't want to make sure I get them right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of models and stuff that I can kind of base stuff off of that's you can buy, and it's just and that helps me populate stuff and kind of gets my idea going about tweak some stuff. So some of these models were kind of created, and I bought them off the Blender market, and then and now I have to tweak them and make the colors different and kind of remodel a few things here and there. Um, and again, like I know we talked about this before, but that is Mitchell's bars. He knows I make it a hot pink. I'm not sure what the color is going to be in the
Right. Obviously, the prickly pear will be something. I mean, if
yeah,
you can Google what a prickly pear looks like. They're
yeah.
pretty funny looking fruits, which is I think it's a silly name, but they're also kind of a silly looking fruit, which is kind of why I went with it. I don't know.
Wow, I thought you just came with a prickly pear because, but there's actually a fruit called
I
the prickly pear.
a prickly pear, yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that, but now I'm gonna look that up and kind of see if I can get some inspiration
Yeah,
for that
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Check the color and maybe you can draw from that a little bit. But yeah, I mean that looks amazing. I mean, so I guess my question is what's next? Where are you going next with this?
So I'm gonna do a little bit of this, so you can see it. Like you can look down here. I'm actually playing. I have to do this eventually, and I'll probably be doing that tonight as we talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I am gonna play with colors a little bit on some of the stuff. So there we go. Now we got a brown floorboard there. Same thing with this guy. I got to go back in and treat the floor differently with the kind of go with a brown floorboard there. Do you see how I've actually cloned a couple of
Mm-hmm.
these? So you see that a
Mm-hmm.
couple of them are updating. So
Mm-hmm.
something else got to think about too is which ones I'm gonna instantify or whatever the term
Yeah, created a different instantiation rather than
yeah
clone them. Yeah,
yeah
that
but
instantiation is a programming term. Ah, dirty
programming
engineers.
there
I
we go.
know.
um so there's some of that I'm going to be doing as I keep kind of building out Dry Gulp Gorge. But see these buildings here that you saw the clones of, they're there kind of as a crowd control for the
A little bit,
buildings.
they're filler to a certain extent, but
Yes,
I mean, I think
exactly.
that's normal.
Yeah. So I'll
Um,
be doing that a little bit. Now, obviously, I still got to take care of the shop.
yeah,
Um,
I still
and
need to name it. I'm sorry. I'm yawning so much. I swear I'm not bored.
It's okay.
I in the last 10 days, I have visited first and second cousins, first cousins once removed, third cousins. I've been to Tennessee, Indiana, Kentucky.
Man,
I drove over 1,000 miles. I just got back in town this morning, in fact, and then immediately had to get back to my regular day job.
yeah,
And now I'm here, and I'm loving this, but I am
you're worn out.
decidedly worn out.
Yeah.
So I will yawn, and I apologize for that in advance. It has nothing to do with my love of what you're doing here,
Eric, I yawn while working on this stuff sometimes, so
though.
you're totally
Okay.
free to yawn
Okay.
away. I will not be offended. Maybe
Okay.
somebody watching might be, and they can voice their opinion.
That's fine. Chat is
Shake their digital fist at us both. That's fine.
chat is
Whatever.
open. Leave a comment. We will respond. We will do all of it. So
Um,
do you have a point light at this point? Or are you still not a point light, but a directional light, or are you still just using the general ambience, a general
Let me
ambient light?
zoom out. So here's my fake sun right here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we also have the sun in the backdrop. So
Right.
I think you'll have fun with this. Let me see if I can access it here.
Oh, so
Where are
that
you?
is a sun light. That's what it's that's
Yeah,
it's light type. Okay.
yeah. So like you can see here. Let me see for fun. I'll play with these. I'm not saving anything right now, so it's okay. But I can actually see. You can see the subtle changes I'm
Oh
doing here.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So when we go in a night, we can kind of change down. And again, this is a add-on I bought on the Blender Market to kind of tweak, and it's
Wow.
it's perfect for what we want. I
Yeah.
think for some reason night is yellow. Let me see what I can do here. Well, see that dramatically changes things.
Yeah, that's a real dramatically.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff we can play with.
That actually changes the color of the sun, I guess,
Mhm, mhm.
too. Interesting.
Yeah. So if I go
Very
back into the
interesting.
so yeah, see how it does change the look and feel
That's
of
really cool. I mean, yeah, one thing you definitely want to do, and I'm sure you've already thought about this, is set up like a time of days. You
yeah.
know, dawn, day, dusk, night, um,
Interestingly enough, so
and
like
it's
this already has it kind of animated in. Let me push. This
okay.
might wreck the stuff. Let's just see. If I push play, there we go.
Oh
There's the
wow,
sun. So it's already animated. Isn't that crazy?
that
So
is
I gotta
crazy.
animate I gotta animate the windmill, put that on cycle. But yeah, it goes all the way through the entire day.
And you can, yeah, and it's great. You can get a look at the colors and how they pop at different times of
Hmm.
day, which is, it's interesting. It's something you have to consider, right? I mean, if you're only ever going to show something in the middle of the day, then it's fine. But
Yeah,
I mean, our even just the pilot episode, there are at least three different times of day that you're going to have to color to.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, it's cool that this supports that already. That's crazy.
How big do we want the sun to be? I actually made it pretty big to be, but like that's the max size we can go right now. We can go smaller.
What I want to
It's
avoid
really
is I want to keep like one sun, and I want to keep it just generally
sure.
the size that you would expect for the sun. I mean, if it's a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, that's fine. What I want to avoid doing is sort of the generic Tatooine kind of two
Yeah,
suns, or
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
to to
yeah,
intentionally make it feel alien,
yeah.
right?
No, I want it. Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I mean, I want it to feel like it's kind of it could be Earth. It could be Earth. It
Could
could,
be Earth, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I mean, it is a cartoon, so we can have fun with the sun too. We can make it big, but and the fact that we only have one singular sun and one moon. I mean, already that's already kind of nice. I mean, uh, that's enough. But anyway, but there is something kind of that I like about how big it is, kind of in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of feels looming, but yeah, I'm not. I'm kind of indifferent. I mean, we could make it just what we kind of perceive as normal. Like, wouldn't that be normal out there? Maybe.
Yeah, I think about there is about normal. I mean, and obviously, where it is over the course of the day, the perceived size changes, just like the moon. when it's
Mm-hmm.
towards the horizon, it appears larger than when it's at the very height of the sky. Um, so, but yeah, I mean, we can play around with that. I just don't want to. We do so many things that establish how different the world is. Doing something overtly alien like that, I don't think is
Yeah, it definitely pulls us
necessary.
out of it'll pull us out of um
Because
yeah
then what it does is it definitively says we are not on Earth, and that's obviously
yeah
that is what was the point of the two sons of Tatooine, right? Like
yeah they definitely know how
Lucas
to make
wanted to
sure.
definitively say we are not on Earth,
Yeah,
um, and it's a marvelous shot. I mean I can picture it in my head just sitting here. I've seen it so
yeah,
many
it's
times,
iconic.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but I just don't think it's appropriate for what we're looking for in Calamity Jane.
Hmm.
And that was maybe the longest discussion ever on a stream about suns in a cartoon. I'm thinking.
Yeah. Um,
Um, but yeah. Um, okay.
yeah,
So
we
we
can even
have
play with we can even make the disc. We can actually make the sun with hard edge.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's there's a lot of options on this thing.
yeah. We can play with a lot of stuff, and you know what? And every episode can be a little different anyway, because again, our days are kind of different depending on the weather and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually, just like you just doing that, yeah. I mean, like there'd be what a great opportunity to play with that. Like this is a town that doesn't get rain, and so an
Yeah.
episode about like a once in a century rain or something like that, and yeah. I mean, I'm already thinking about like the town like I just have this vision of the town all on floaters, and they're floating on this artificial sea, but the
Hmm.
town is still aligned correctly. So somehow, even though it's floating on the water, it's still floating around in the same shape as Dry Gulp Gorge. I don't know what the story is, but I just
Wait.
got that
So,
visual image.
are you saying you're coming up with some other destination for Climber to go visit at some
No,
point?
it would still be Dry Gulp Gorge,
Oh,
but the
okay.
idea is that the desert floods and
Oh,
the
wow.
town floats. And I don't know what the storyline would be, but it seems like a major episode.
Yeah, that required. Well, we need to put the villain there in place, and but that's definitely that sounds fun.
Yeah,
That'd be a lot of fun.
yeah. But then, for
Yeah.
no reason, and we wouldn't explain it, um,
See,
the
so
town. No, I mean, we would explain the flood.
oh, okay.
I feel like we would explain the flood. No, but like the town, complete even with the wind turbine, would still float together as a singular unit, right?
I don't
So
know. I kind of like the fact that there's gonna be an episode where she pulls into town and Tinsel's on floaty devices and stuff.
he's
Like
on a
little floaty,
pontoon.
and Clammy's got floaty arm things. There's no explanation. She's just that's the episode, and
That's
like there's
the
nothing being talked about. It's just the everyday
it's
another
the
day.
it's the season 6 premiere.
Yeah.
Right, season 5 ends, and it seems like we've wrapped up a major storyline. And Calamity says, in the last line of the season 5 finale is, "Well, after what we've just been through, nothing can phase us now." And then season 6 starts, and she just comes riding into town on Tinsel, and everything is flooded.
Yeah, and it's just part of their life.
It's just
And
part of their lives
whatever,
now. Yeah, exactly.
whatever.
And then Calamity Jane Adventure Hour becomes the Waterworld Adventure Hour featuring
Yeah,
Calamity Jane.
yeah. Well, bookmark that idea. We'll definitely push that
We've got
one.
it archived here, so when
Yeah.
we run out of ideas when we're on season 30, we can go back to the stream and like, oh, there it is. That's the one we were looking for.
Yeah. So
But we are at 29 minutes, so I feel
cool.
like we're at a pretty decent stopping point.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I think Sally looks great. I think Dry Gulp Gorge looks great. Every day, it becomes more and more of an actual cartoon. It's just remarkable.
Every day, inch by inch,
Yeah,
it's getting there.
inch by
So
inch. Fake wooden flooring by fake. Never mind. I give up. I'm just gonna abandon ship on that one as quickly as I could.
well, it's
Um,
great because Dry Gulp's gonna have water, so
it
you won't
will,
have
and
a problem finding
someday it
water.
will. Right, exactly.
So,
Once we get bored and we're just looking to shake things up, that audience, if you're watching this, that when Dry Gulp Gorge has been flooded, we've gotten bored. Um, okay. All right. In any case, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next week. Back the same thing. I'm not doing anything next week, at least, and stay safe out there. And we will see you at the same time. You can find us on Patreon. Just head to calamityjane.rocks. It'll take you to our Patreon site. Please feel to subscribe and help donate to help us make this cartoon. And looking forward to seeing what you come up with next week, James.
Cool.
right.
Looking forward to hanging out. We'll see you later.
Good night, everybody. All right.